Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Welcome to this workshop on Nexus Artifact Repository. So today I want to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Anand. Let me give his introduction. He's having close to 5 years of experience in DevOps technology, working in automobile industry for an automobile client. Much more introduction about himself. Over to Mr. Anand. Good morning, Anand.
Good morning and hello everyone. I work. I'm a DevOps engineer. I'm working for an automobile client, as Sunil sir said. I have been working for the past 5 years on one exciting project where we integrate like customer car dashboards like to their mobile devices. It's a North America project actually. It's a cold country. So if you take an example, before they leave to office they need to start 1 hour or 2 hours before the vehicle. So thinking of every time when they need to start the vehicle, they go to their vehicle and start the engine and come back. It would be something messy if they need to do this all the time. So what our main application we develop is do, it will allow users to operate this through their mobiles. So this is the one of the example scenario in my project I'm explaining. So there are like many more. Like customer can turn on the vehicle lights whenever you want, from wherever you want. Also, you can set up some geofencing. Like if the car uh, like go away from that fencing limit, you will get an alert like that. So there are so many some exciting features about this. And today, as workshop is on Nexus repository, we have in our project as like one of the famous one. It is actually. So I will start by sharing my screen.
Yeah, Anand, before sharing your screen, what's our plan for today's session?
Yeah,
Can you give us a basic idea to the attendees?
yeah,
So, what you're
yeah.
planning to
First
do
we
in this
will, yeah,
next 1.5 hour? What's your plan?
yeah, yeah. First we will be doing some intro about an artifacts. Actually, what's an artifact? We are saving like repository. In repository we are saying artifact. So we'll take in brief intro about what's an artifact, and later we'll see how Nexus artifact repo fit into that, like as a repository, and we will try to install and run. And we after we take quick UI tour, like what are the different features available over this UI on Nexus repository. And there are some repository types in this Nexus. Okay, we will go through what are all these types, and we will see try to see the differences. And later, using Jenkins, I have one of my repositories, some developer code. I will try to integrate this Nexus with this Jenkins tool, and once the job is done, the Jenkins will build the artifact and will upload to the Nexus artifact. We will see that in live. Later, we will see one of the more advanced feature of Nexus is a REST API. Why it is a REST API is needed is if the any tool need to communicate with the Nexus, it will not do as we do like in browser. It cannot be used by the UI. So it needs some REST API URLs. So it will be the entire communication will be using APIs. So we'll see what is the all this. And because it is a repository, but actually it also needs some storage, right? So it is storing our artifact, but Nexus itself needs some storage. So that storage, what and where it will store actually. So for us, Nexus repository is a store like repository, but for Nexus it also needs some actual storage to store all this. So how it can be done, what this storage called, and all this. Also, there is some features like components and assets in the Nexus repository, and we'll try to see that also. And as the Nexus repository fill up with artifacts, the storage will increase tremendously. So we don't want that to happen. So in industry, what we do is, if artifacts fall some like it's not been downloaded for few many days, or like the it cannot be addressed by anyone, like the artifact particular one not been touched by any user for like 30 days, how many, like there are some. And if it is how long hold, like it's been uploaded since like 20 days ago, so we set up such rules. If it is match that rule, it will be automatically deleted. So this is called cleaning policies. We also try to see that. And later there will be a Q&A session. If even after this all you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll try to explain that
Very
over
good to
this.
know that, or very good to know that, Anand. So all this integration of Jenkins with Nexus and pushing the artifact to the Nexus repository, will it be shown practically in this workshop?
Yes, but we stick to the freestyle because since as you said there are new students under training, so they might not be understand the pipelines. So the similarities are same. Like the pipeline, it's like Groovy script. Like plugin will be given with some UI option. The concept is more, but when it comes to pipeline, they need to more understanding of this Groovy and scripting knowledge is needed. So for the simplicity, we will doing that using freestyle job
So
and
using
using
the
some
freestyle
plugin.
job, we can see the practicals of how
Yeah.
exactly
Yes.
Jenkins will push the
Yes.
code into the artifact repository. Interesting.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So, Anand, I'll make you as a host. Okay, you will get an
Yeah,
option
okay.
to share the screen. 1 minute.
Yeah, fine.
I'm stopping my screen, Anand. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And now I will make you as a host. So, Anand, you are the host now. You have an option of sharing the screen from your laptop.
Yeah, I am able to share. Hope everybody is seeing my screen.
Yes, Anand. Yes, we can see your screen. You can proceed.
So I'm making it as a full screen. So this is the document which I prepared to simply understand everything. Even I'm saying this, but you can also literally see this all this written over here so that you can understand either way. Okay. So first, where the story artifact story will start is like from the build tools or package manager tools. Actually, what this build or package manager tools does, we try to understand this first. So whenever developers develop an application, they will include all libraries and like dependency files and source code files and everything. There are one file to like many based on the application and how big it is. So but in a production server we are not allowed to deploy all this code with all these files. So what we do is we build some single file, it's a movable file, and which include all these whatever necessary libraries, maybe frameworks, everything whatever needed to run this application will be bundled in that one movable package. That is called an artifact. Hope everybody get it. So what this build tools is do is building this artifact. So from the source code, this using this build tool, we build this artifact. So clear. So this is what I have written here. So there are many tools such like for Java mainly we are using Maven, Gradle, and JavaScript npm, like a Python like PyP, some like Ruby, Ruby Gems. There are many more. You name
So
it.
the
Every
artifact
program.
tool changes from the technology to technology. If it is Java, it is
Yes,
Maven.
yes,
If it is
yes,
.NET,
yes.
it will be some other tool.
Yeah,
And if
some
it
other
is
tool. Yeah.
Python, it could be some other tool.
Yes,
The
yes,
tool differs
yes.
from the code to code and
Yeah,
technology to
yeah. The
technology.
programming
Okay.
language we adapt to develop the application, it will be differ from the
But
programming language to
finally,
programming.
every
Every
build tool will help in generating one artifact.
artifact. So this is an artifact. What it will include? It application code and all its dependencies. So till here clear. I'm thinking everybody know what is an artifact. So I'm moving to now artifact repository. Basically, the repository term will come like repo. It's like a kind of storage purpose we are using. So artifact repository. So it is storage used to store the artifacts. Okay. So these all artifacts not we are like in really we are not building this like running these commands using the build to no, it is everything will be automated using Jenkins tool that will be seen later just after this introduction and installing the tool. So it will end up that artifact will end up should end up in this artifact repository. So it is like a central location in the organization. Like whenever any project like everyone, we have one big repository divided like inside this particularly repositories will be there for project to project. So every project who are working in the organization need to push their artifacts to this particular repository. So we were instructed to do that. So and we were doing that. And whenever from there we need to deploy to a different environment based on the requirement, like dev stage, UAT, and some test will undergo. So in the pre-prod, after we everything fine, we also deploy to the production. From one central location. That location is artifact repository. Okay. So what this artifact repository should do is it supports of that particular artifact type format. Like we are using, say, my project, it is a Java. So which will jar files. It is a Maven to format. So it should support this format first of all. So we are using this as a repository means it should support that particular artifact format. So for each such, like say, different like languages, different artifact, before this artifact repository manager like Nexus, we were using one repository for each, and for maintaining that repository we are using separate softwares. So for literally Java language, we are using one artifact repository and one software or application to maintain that, and for JavaScript, one again artifact repository and one software or like application to maintain that. So this was the thing before this repository managers. So what this manager like artifact repository manager has do is it again later if we adapting, right now we are using in the industry, it will support all the artifacts like many, like based on the requirement you just name it, you can find some like support for that particular artifact type. Same, most of the, almost I can say there are like free versions and commercial versions. Free version limited to few types, but there's also enough many use cases like a small scale industry, like but like small projects sort of say, that is enough. But there are also commercial version where we can have more artifact types. We can have like support, customer support, Nexus itself. If anything goes something wrong in the Nexus server itself, they will support us. So this is like, so before is a diagram you can see. For Java we were having one artifact repository, Python one, .NET one. So instead of having different repository for each artifact type, now what this repository manager like Nexus does is just one repository for managing all your different artifact types. Okay. So till this
So
any doubt?
Nexus can manage all different types of
Yeah.
artifacts of any technology. It could be Java or .NET
Yeah, most
or
of it
Python.
depends
Okay.
whether you have pre version, open source version, or commercial.
Okay.
But the free version also like is enough for many use cases. As my
So
project,
Nexus
I
is
also,
used for all the
yeah,
technologies, Nexus
yeah,
repository.
all the languages
Okay.
whichever you are writing in. Okay, so this is like okay, before this artifact manager Nexus, we I would also want to discuss few more same like Nexus, but use it for publicly. Like many Java projects like need dependencies which we fetch from Maven repository. Most of the developers, if anyone, they know without this repository, any project cannot be done within the Java language. Like we need like a Spring Boot, many other libraries. So whatever libraries we fetch from this particular Maven repository, which is hosted somewhere like in the server. But this is also one of the artifact repository manager only. Actually, what is library is it is a code build which is direct readily available for others to use. Like you just want some functionality, you find some library and you import it. That's it. So it is also kind of an artifact. Library frameworks are also, you can sort of think of as an artifact only because it is readily available for to use. You just import and you use it. So these are stored like public libraries and frameworks. So these are called public artifact repository managers, like Maven for Java, NPM for JavaScript, like PyPy for Python, many more. Whatever program language you
So
might
from this
find.
public repository managers, developers can download the libraries whichever are
Yes,
required.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. How Nexus is different from this is it is a private. It is
Nexus is
company
private.
intern. Yeah, Nexus is private. So you should be differentiate on this because if someone asks, is there a no artifact repository before Nexus? Yes, there are, but those are public. So for internal organization usage, the one is like Nexus. Okay, am I clear, everybody?
Yes, it is clear. So
Yeah,
Nexus is a private
yeah.
artifact
Nexus is a private.
repository.
Unlike
So the
this
libraries which
Maven.
are available in the Nexus repository are not available to public, specific to the project.
Yes, yes. So these are specific to our project, our personal private artifacts. Sort of say, like I am working as a application Java. What is the application build? The artifacts should end in this Nexus private artifact repository manager. Okay. So just a few points about. So it's a private, as I mentioned. You can upload and store different build artifacts. As I mentioned, it will support different types of artifacts. So retrieve artifacts later. It allows retrieve like whenever we require, we can download. It will give that facility for internal in your company, as I mentioned, as an open source or commercial version. Host own repos. Like we can create own repositories in this. Like as I mentioned, all projects will upload artifact to this particular Nexus. So it is very good practice to create repositories for particular project based on the project name separately, and we restrict these permissions who are allowed to access which repository. We'll see that in later. For brief, we have repositories inside the artifact repository. You remember like repositories, we can have many. Repository manager is one, but repositories inside like a sort of say uh, storage drives, you can say like
If
in
you
file
compare
system
with
we
like if you compare with GitHub,
Windows, yeah,
in GitHub we can create multiple
yes, same,
repositories,
same,
especially for
exactly,
code. In the same way, in
yeah.
Nexus repository, we can create multiple repositories specific to the
For
client,
now,
specific to a
yeah,
particular team or something.
yeah, for artifact different types of whatever. So proxy repositories, you remember this term, I will explain it briefly. This is also support by Nexus. What actually proxy means? Whenever in general also in software terminology, proxy is like mid server. Sort of say the main server is somewhere and the client I want to access that main server, but he is not allowed to access that server directly. So meanwhile, he is accessing this proxy server, and proxy server will fetch the data from that main authoritative server that we call like the actual code where the code running, and it will fetch and it will serve to the client. So it is a middle server. So how proxy repositories are incorporated in Nexus means like we have public, as I mentioned, Maven repository. So sort thing, our developers need some libraries. So we have this private, but when they like even though we have this private, whenever they need some library, they need to still go to the public repository manager. So which we don't want, because we have Nexus, which is more powerful. Is like I mentioned, I forgot to mention, this is the only repository now companies are using, not any public, nothing. Everything is served by Nexus. So how it can be done is by proxy repositories. Like for official Maven repository, we create one repository within the Nexus, which direct to that official Maven central repository. Why? So that's the question. Actually, that is available there. Why we need to create one more in the Nexus? Because we want one trusted source to fetch the libraries, which is our Nexus private repository. Because we provide everything like check security checks, everything SSL certification, everything we like provide to the Nexus. So we only want one place for this all public and private use cases. So we create one proxy repository for Maven. Same for npm. So also you could open Docker Hub, right? Yeah, Docker Hub also we may have private like a proxy repository here. Everything. The main motto of this creating proxy is fetch everything from one place, that is Nexus. Company internal and public artifacts. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, you can have multiple repositories for different formats or different teams in your company. As I mentioned, supported format in Nexus, these are the few supported format, but there are many in commercial version. But our use case, these are enough. See, like we have here uh, sort of say Docker image. Nowadays we are morely containerizing the images like application, so which is the more used one and only the used one sort of say, and Maven and Hell and Pipey, like different formats. Nuget for .NET, npm for JavaScript, Ruby Script, Yum, all these are like enough for our minimal use cases. So these are the repository formats, like different what are the supported formats in Nexus. Okay, this is the artifact repository manager. And what makes Nexus is something special to ready to adapt in the industry is like its features. So you can see here, it's a brief like points on the features. So we can integration with the LDAP. LDAP. Hope everybody know LDAP. So for those who don't know, the LDAP is like check the access management like it is the responsible for access management within the organization. So every organization have LDAP, and we can directly integrate that LDAP with this Nexus, so that whoever whatever other to do that within the organization are now given that permissions over the Nexus repository also. So
Only
no need to
authorized
create.
users can
Yeah,
connect to
yeah,
Nexus repository.
yeah, Nexus, and they are restrict the permissions, everything. So no need to create again one users and everything within the Nexus repository privately. So just we integrate this LDAP and everything's done. Okay, and the flexible and powerful REST API for integration with other tools. As we humans, we can see the UI. Like now I will install and will show the UI how it look like. But for tools, it cannot open browser and see the UI and do the things. So for tools like Jenkins especially, which is like a heart of the DevOps, so REST API is main thing, because using this REST API calls only, it will access this Nexus repo and a particular artifact, and it will deploy into the different environment. So this is the one of the important feature a good artifact repository should have. So REST API, flexible and powerful, means flexible means everyone can easily understand and can use it within their build tools. Okay, and backup and restore. Like so think of Nexus server itself, some under some like problem, like it's failing and it's not whenever we're creating not show up as expected, not working, so it might be problem. Then in such cases we might lose our data. So we need continuous backup for this Nexus server also. It is the storage, but we need to back up the stored artifacts also, for in case for anything anonymous happen, like not we are not expected to happen that, but it may happen. So we back up and we restore, like whenever something got deleted unexpectedly, we are also able to restore that, and I'll show how that it will be happen. And as I mentioned, multi-format support. Here I mentioned few: zip, tar, docker, etc. And one more interesting is metadata tagging. Like we are using these artifacts with different names and versions. Like in my project, there are every artifacts named at the end with the environment. Like if it is a dev artifact, it will be end with the dev. The start with the version and end with the dev. And it is a prod, it's a prod end. So these are some labels and versions we use. It should also support that. So the good repository manager will support these also. And as I mentioned, cleanup policies initially, the Nexus, like how the pipeline will be run in our project is, for every commit from the developer, the pipeline triggers and builds, and it will push to the repository manager the artifact. So after few like hours only, the repository might
Be
end
full.
to this yeah, be full. So we need some cleaning policies, like we don't
Older
want
versions
that
of
all
the older
older
versions of the
versions,
artifact
yeah,
should be removed unnecessarily
removed
to
unnecessarily,
save
because
space.
yeah, save space. And if it is not used by any developer, sort of say there is already it is there, but nobody downloading it, no tool is making use of this art factory, it will check for these many days and it also should be deleted. So these are some cleaning policies, sort of saying technical word. So such functionality. So in the organization, Nexus is the only one repository. So within the project, within the repositories, it should be easy to search. Like whenever we searching, with searching optimization should be very easy, so that we can access our particular project repository. So that's also available in the Nexus. And user token support for system users. So there are like root user, normal user, system user. System user like tools like Jenkins, Docker, whatever, they come up with some tokens to authenticate with the Nexus, and it support the token support also. Like Nexus should support the token also. We generate one token in the Nexus and it will give to the Jenkins. Then it will come to authenticate with this whenever we do the upload task. So it should be authenticated successfully. So that is a token support. Nexus also support that. Okay. So till now, this is a brief intro about Nexus, like how it can be used and what are the features and why industry is more taking up. And there are also some competitors for the Nexus, like JFrog Art Factory, which also almost provides same functionality, but it is some, I personally myself feel the UI is something not very intuitive like Nexus. Also it is a company decision. See, whenever you go to the company, this repository setup is one time setup. So they don't you ask you to set up from the scratch. You come, you join now, so you set up now. No, they don't ask you like that, because it is already there. As a DevOps engineer, when you enter the company, you should know how to work with this Nexus repository. So it's already there. So you have to work on that particular technology. So if it is a company adopting Nexus, you should definitely work with the Nexus only. You are not allowed to say no, I don't know this Nexus, I work with the JFrog. No, not allowed. So also another Apache Archive also there, some for smaller project. So there are many.
But the
So
most widely used is
yeah, most
Nexus.
widely, yeah, Nexus, right? Industry currently. Okay. Now we go to the installation part. So before that, I will explain what I am going to do in the each step. Like theoretically here, I will do this one after another directly in the browser. Okay. So first we will create a Linux server, whatever it may be. I mentioned here Ubuntu centers. Don't think it is only, it can be only installed in this. No, I mentioned Linux, anything. Like there are many distributions out there. For simplicity, most of the everyone already familiar with Ubuntu, so I'm going to use this in my like now I install. So the requirement is minimum that server of 4 GB RAM and 2 CPU. So minimum, if you want to install Nexus on particular server, the server should have 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM. So please remember this. This might be your first interview question also. If you don't know this, you don't know anything about Nexus. Okay, and open port SSH 22. Why? Because we need to access the server before installing actual Nexus tool. We need to take over that server and we need to install this all Nexus binaries and everything. So we should open this port 22. And Nexus, one of the dependency is Java. So we make available Java 8 or above version for the Nexus to install later. So Java, after we download this, install this Nexus tool from the official repository, which is maintained by Sonatype. I will show the website also. Sonatype organization. There will be download links. We choose particular version, maybe the latest also. So we install and we create something interesting here. We create Nexus user and group. Hope everyone got Linux basics covered. I think everybody know what is a user and group. Over to Sunil sir.
Yes, you can
Everybody know?
proceed. Yes.
Yeah. So we need to create Nexus user and group. Why? Because in the industry there is one best practice is only give limited permissions they need. They need like what this Nexus tool to do is just upload and all this kind of thing. So we create one user who have this like ownership on this particular Nexus folders, like binary folders, and he allowed to do this all only Nexus part of task, like uploading everything. So this is like minimizing the permissions, like we only giving the whatever he needed. So that is the best practice. Also, we have in AWS also IAM roles for that. You might have already heard about. So that is can be also one of the best practice. So similarly for Nexus user also we use such permissions. We see that later while creating. So this is the one thing in the terminal. Once we will download, it will come up with one zip file, the version, and we need to enter it. Once enter, we will be getting two folders. The folder itself we need to know about. First, the one is like Nexus folder, we call it. What it calls is it have is contains runtime and application for Nexus. Like there are few many binaries or some like dependencies, everything whatever helping to Nexus to run, all will be available in this Nexus folder. This might be the interview question, please stress on this. If you don't understand, ask me again. This is the two folders we get. Before it was one only, but after I think I forgot the version, they divided it into two. So particularly this Nexus have binaries and whatever dependencies needed for Nexus tool to run. And again another one is Sonatype work. This is the configuration settings and the actual storage. Sort of say whatever we store in the Nexus repository will end up in this folder within the file system. Okay, so that is all mentioned here. Few more points. Contains own configuration for Nexus and data. Like we customize the Nexus repository for our special use case. So those settings, all these configurations will be stored in this Sonatype work. So IP address that accessed Nexus, like who is accessing this Nexus repo and everything, logs of Nexus up, like logs, whatever generated within the Nexus, and your uploaded files and metadata, as I mentioned. You can use this folder for backup. Like whenever I mentioned, it should be backup time to time for any like anything anonymously happen. for the fault tolerance sort of say, we need to back up this one. So we are backing up actually this folder. I said backing up means we back up this particular sonatype work folder. Okay, directory in Linux terms. Okay, everything is clear up to this.
Yes,
Anyone
Anand.
who do, yeah,
So,
okay.
so is it already this Nexus? You're talking about an Ubuntu machine. It's an EC2 machine, right? Can we
Yeah, it's
create?
issued machine. Yes,
So
yes.
it's already created, or you'll be doing the
No,
configuration
no, no.
session?
I will be doing. I make
Okay.
screenshot available
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
simulate this so that they don't feel new when I do all this. So I'm
Practicals.
explaining
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
these are the folders. You don't get any surprise when
Two
I
important
again
folders. One
show.
is Sona type
Yeah,
hyphen work. The other is Nexus folder.
yeah, Nexus folder. So
Okay.
also I list the all Nexus within the inside. You can see here bin deploy etc. This all like libraries everything whatever helping to run the Nexus tool and Sonatype within inside. These are some storage. I will explain briefly about it when it comes to the storage part. Okay. So what this is step one we do till here, and what we do in the step two is make Nexus on the folders like. See, I will show you here. Yeah. Whenever we download the package using root only. So you are allowed to download any package with the root in the Linux. So first we download using this. But in order to Nexus user to have ownership, we need to change the ownership using this ch on command.
Okay.
Hope everybody know about this.
Yes.
So I am making owner of Nexus to these two folder, like Nexus this binary folder and Sonatype storage folder. So using this file. Before you can see the ownership is root for the Nexus and Sonatype also root. After running this command, again you can see here Nexus is now owned by Nexus user
Nexus
and
user.
Sonatype is a Sona user. Okay, this is the first part. And second, we start the Nexus using its binary location. Like its binary is stored in Nexus folder and bin within the bin there is a Nexus
Nexus.
binary that will be we are doing with start command, so then it will be started. So before doing this I forgot to mention here, yeah, these some few important steps starting before actually. So service should not run with the root user. As I mentioned, we create Nexus user. So best practice, create own user. Should have only permission for that specific service. What the task he needed to do, he should only given with that permission. So one more important thing, we have to tell explicitly Nexus to what user we are using to run the Nexus. We are explicitly tell before starting the Nexus itself. Like it is available within the some file in Nexus directory, bin directory, and
Ah,
Nexus.rc file. It is
okay.
main thing. If you don't do this, your Nexus tool will not
So
start.
we have to mention run
You
underscore as
are
underscore
yeah,
user as
yeah,
Nexus user.
yeah, Nexus user. With once we open this and it will come with any text, you just replace with this run underscore as underscore user equal to colon Nexus colon
The
double quoted.
username as
Okay.
Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah, here it is Nexus, but the thing is, it's best practice. We are creating the tool name as a user, so that is the best practice. So I use it here Nexus as a name.
Yeah.
You can use anything.
Username is Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah, Nexus. Okay. So as I mentioned, once it is done, this step is done. We need to start this all. Okay. And here this ps asks it's a running process it will show, and we are grabbing for Nexus process and process id it is a 1111, and again we are making sure the service is already started. And again using this lpnt command netstart command, it's available with the netstool package within. So why we are using it is for checking on which port it is using, so which port it is listening to, so that we can access on the same port. So here the process side you can see 1111 using 8081 port number. So the this is the port where Nexus listen to. So remember as Jenkins 8080 and like as now Nexus is 8081. So just
So we need to
after the
open 8081 for the TCP
yeah
machine
in
also.
the security
Security group.
firewall. Yeah, security. Next step it is that one only. Open port 8081 with the firewall. Here already it is available when we create the instance itself. So now we are adding this rule to allow this port
One more
8081
rule,
for
8081.
yeah. It is not best practice to allow everyone, but for instance, I am allowing everyone. But in industry live, it is only allowed for the particular server which is going to access this Nexus. Like here, Jenkins. So we only mention Jenkins. So now, because I also need to show you in the browser, so I mention everyone. So it is not a best practice. So
Okay.
keep that in mind. By saying that, I'm going to the next slide. This is the actual UI we are waiting for.
The
So
Nexus
once
page.
the Nexus page, the UI home page sort of say, it is like the public address of the IP address of the instance colon the port. It will be accessed and it will be like this. And these are some info regarding the tool and latest version, release notes, documentation, community support, everything. And what are the new things they have implemented in the particular version. Latest now is 3.69.0. And one more thing, if you are using these tools, any tool, you should be know of these versions, because you will be known. Like if you are saying I'm using this tool, they check directly ask what is the version you are using. If you don't know even the version, so you are yourself saying you are not using the tool, even you don't know everything about. So it's also best practice. So we have brief idea about what are version we are using for particular tool. Okay, so this is the thing. So I will finish this till here and we will go to the next slide. Okay.
So we are doing practicals now.
Yeah, practicals. Now I am set up this Nexus tool.
Okay.
Meanwhile, any doubt for any conflict, you can stop me anywhere while setup also. I'll explain everything and I will do as I mentioned in the slide itself. Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing new I am doing here. So I'm just using like doing whatever I mentioned in the. In industry, like there are like many servers running in the AWS, so you're not allowed to touch anything and not allowed to change anything. And moreover, you are restricted by your special use case by IAM rules, so you are not able to see also sometimes. But I'm telling for safe side. Okay, even if there are some instances running, you are not allowed to touch anything, and unless until it is a proper change request, you are not allowed to change any firewall settings and VPC setting, anything. Okay, so I'm randomly choosing one area. It's North Virginia. Let it be. I'm creating server and naming it as an Nexus. And as I said, I'm going for Ubuntu. You can make use of anything, but Ubuntu is something everybody know, and its latest version sometimes not very stable. It will continually updating. Every updating is roll out everything. So for that, I'm going this one least version. So it's not this one you have to do the same. You can go with the also. But in the industry, what we do is we always use one version less than the latest version. Why? Because these latest versions every time they are under like development sort of. So new updates rolling out all the times, everything. So it's practice of best practice also. Sort of say companies actually how work companies inside a company works is they don't have latest version any tool. They definitely have one version less than. Okay, and also as I mentioned the capacity we should take minimum 2 cpu and 4 GB ram. This is a T2 medium,
T2
but
medium.
I'm take this is chargeable. Everybody remember this not come under free tier. If anybody using the free tier, so please make sure you clear all resources once the lab is done. Okay, so unnecessarily don't increase your price. Okay, so I'm making more use of this 8 GB and 2 CPU because I'm taking more than, so don't to avoid any I don't want it stuck anywhere middle. So I'm using one more capacity. So key, you can create one new. I have already one because I have set up this putty key everything. So I'm using the make user. So is that fine, everyone? I
Yeah.
can use a
Proceed.
new one, or I'm
Yeah.
already, you can use existing one.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the security group. By default it will be created, and it will be created in the default VPC, and subnet we don't specify, so it will be any subnet within that region. So everything okay. The storage is 8 GB. It is allocated with everything. Okay, I'm launching the instance. So we wait for the status check also 2 by 2. because this is also important. It is the one server I have already is Jenkins server. So when we need to integrate, I will turn on this Jenkins server. Okay, so meanwhile I'll using this particular one server, so I'm interested in this server. Okay, so these are all servers already available when you join the organization. So, but they will check whether you know how to set up or not. They might rare chances. They also ask you. So for that, I'm explaining all this. Okay. So meanwhile, I make this IP address everything putty. This putty too. So as you Sunil sir said, you are using putty, so I'm also using. But we were using mobile extreme. This is also same. Works as a putty. Also Git bash. So these are all SSH client tools. Okay, everything will be same. The difference is the interface only. Okay, so this is the IP address, and we are using SSH authentication. We have credentials, and we have private key file, right? So private key file, you know how to generate PPK out of PEM, right? So this is the all generated one. So the Nexus I'm choosing. It is a PPK putty format which is converted using this putty gen from this PEM key. Okay, everybody know this process, right? Sunil sir, over to Sunil.
Yeah, yeah, they know it. You can proceed.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm directly using because as this is a basic step, everybody knows. So I want to more concentrate on which part you don't know. That one I want to more concentrate. So I'm skipping all these small things. Okay. So it is okay now. 2 by 2 check pass. So we can access now. We are first we are given with username Ubuntu. If you also any server you don't know what is the user, we have to connect to it with, you can check simply using by connect this and say SSH client. You can say, you can see here this name, will be the user. So this is a quick check you can do for which user. By default it will be come with. Okay, here it is Ubuntu. So some people might surprise where this Ubuntu come from. So this Ubuntu server itself come with the default user Ubuntu. So I'm making use of that and trying to log in. Okay, it give me for to avoid any like permission error. I'm simply changing as a root user using sudo su command. Hope everybody covered with Linux basics. So this is the one of the basic. So before any tool we install, first this fresh server, what we do is we update the repository, like sort of say repositories in the particular package tool. In the Ubuntu, we have, it is a Debian family, we have AP tool. For Red Hat, we have like M tool, M package manager. For a package manager, we call it. We are now a Debian, so we are using APT, and I'm using update so that all latest repository will be replaced within this server, so that we have all these latest packages, everything fresh. Okay, I'm doing this. So this is the best practice. Before you install any package, you are supposed to do this because it will update the repository list within the server, and next time you download, all package will be new one, updated, free from the vulnerabilities, all this. Okay. So now everything okay. So as I mentioned in the slide, what is the like first we have come across step one. So server created with the capacity open SSL, which is defaultly allowed for the Linux servers. So I'm no need to do this explicitly. Okay. So now the next thing is install Java version 8 or above. I'm stick to this version 8. So whenever you don't know what the package name within the like any Linux distribution, you simply check first with the it version whether this have already know this tool get installed or not. Then if it is not, the server itself suggests you to how to install. So now I check this Java version. It says Java not available, but you can install using these many commands. Okay, these are best one thing you can do. Also, APT supports this search functionality. Also, you can also search this using the search functionality, some Java, some wildcard, anything. But I feel this is the easy thing. so that you simply copy the package name and the command sort of everything. So I'm making use of that command. So this is the Java 8 package. We have Ubuntu server. Okay, the package name is different, but the version is same in every server. Like you take Amazon Linux, that might be different one. So don't get confused with the names. The theme, like the concept is same. The name might be different. Okay, I'm installing this. Okay, it's done. Now again I run the same command Java version. Now it shows. Sorry, capital V enter. I think. Java iPhone version. Yeah, Java version. It is now 1.80 as we expected here. We are installed Java 8. Okay. Now the main part is we are installing the Nexus tool binaries. Okay. So
Anand,
I'm
sorry to
taking.
interrupt. We
Yeah.
have to be a little bit quick because already 45 minutes has been completed.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Fine.
Many more
Fine. Once the
topics to
setup.
be discussed. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Fine.
Okay, just follow the document. Can we get the documents? Can the participants will
Yeah.
be able to
Definitely.
access the
Definitely.
documents?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I will make available the
because the
documents.
documents will be helpful for the participants to practice and create their own Nexus server.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Nexus download Linux latest. I was searching. So the first link will be the download link. It is very search optimized. This Nexus tool. It will show the first result. So here we come down. So whatever the operating system you have also Java version. You have to select this particular link. So we have this Unix. If I click this, it will be downloaded within this my local system. I don't want. So I am just making this copy link address and I am want to download this within this server. So where I am downloading also this slash opt, this optional. Any tools that won't split it binaries, we install this slash opt folder within the file system of Linux. Hope everyone know this. I'm so directly going. So I'm using this making wget command and that link. So what it do is it will download the package from the particular repo. So I'm making use of list. So it is downloaded already. So I am untarring it. Tar iPhone XVZF. Hope everyone know this command. So that's why I'm going
Yes.
fast. Sorry. Sorry, this one should be XVZF. So I'm entering this downloaded file. So now if I list, it will show this
Now the two
as I
folders which you
mentioned.
are talking
Yeah, two
about in the
folder.
notes, two
Yeah.
important folders
So
got extracted.
Nexus and so on. So after this, what we have done is over to the we create the Nexus user. So I'm doing the same now. Add user
Create new user.
Nexus. Yeah. So I'm giving Nexus as a password for simplicity. But this
Username
password is
is
not
Nexus.
this
Password is also Nexus.
Nexus. It might be anything based on your use. Okay. Once I am long listing these files, so for seeing the ownership. So it is now
The
the
root is the
ownership
owner.
is root.
We need
So
to
now I
change
am
the owner
changing
to Nexus.
Nexus. Yeah. Nexus. Also changing the group at a time. So user and the group itself, I'm changing it to the Nexus user. It's done for Sonat at work also.
For both the folders.
Yeah. Okay, it's done. Now I am long listing again. Now it is here Nexus user owning the both folders. See Nexus, Nexus. Okay. Once it is done, I'm changing it to the Nexus user. Why? Because here afterwards, whatever the things can be done only using Nexus. So
From root
I'm
user,
switching to
we are
the
switching to Nexus user.
Nexus user. Okay. Now I'm in Nexus user. So I need to again switch to the slash opt
OPT folder.
directory. Okay. As I mentioned, over to the file, it is everything done. So as I mentioned here, what is content? So step two, make Nexus owner class and start with Nexus user. So I mentioned before start, we need to do some which user we are starting. We need to mention that file. I'm we'll try to show you ls. So it is available in the Nexus directory. Sorry. So again ls, it is within the bin ls. So you can see here within the bin there is a file called
Nexus.rc
nexus.r.
file.
Okay, I'm opening with the vim editor. So I'm
Mention
it
the
is
user there,
commented.
Nexus.
Yeah, I'm uncommented it and I'm mentioning here the Nexus, which user we are going to start the Nexus. So I mention again, I'm saving this. Okay. So now I'm going to this home folder of this Nexus user, and from here I'm mentioning the absolute path of that binary Nexus iPhone 3.69.0 iPhone 02 slash bin slash Nexus. Okay,
Start.
start. So it is started already. Okay.
It is very quick.
Yeah, it's very quick. So, but we have to allow
Open
this
the
port
port.
as a.
Yeah.
So before we confirm whether it is actually started or not, I forgot to cross check that one using PS aux. We are grip for this Nexus. So it is started actually the process ID everything,
Okay.
and we also check the which port using NetStart tool.
Statistics.
Yeah. So it is not available, but it will show the port only. I'm not installing it to save the time. It will show
Okay.
the port. It is already
Yes.
8081. So
The
I'm not
default
doing
port.
it. Yeah. So I'm allowing this port within the security group. This is a security group attached to this Nexus server. So inbound rule. I'm editing inbound rules. I'm adding new rule. It is 8081.
81.
I'm simplicity allowing
From
everyone to
everywhere.
access. Yeah.
Yeah.
Open to world. So now it's done. So I'm now copy this public
Public
IP
IP.
address of this. Sorry, just details. Yeah, public IP. I'm closing this one. We don't need this anymore. And the port is 8081.
81.
So it take few seconds to start up. Okay, now it's starting
Perfect.
quickly. So this is the where we till is set up the Nexus server itself. So there are many more things to do.
Okay.
Shall
So
we
this is the
provide
first
some break
activity.
or yeah, first activity? Shall we provide some 5 minutes of break or no need?
Let's proceed.
Let's proceed. Okay.
If you want, you
So
can
this
take it.
no. I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
asking for the students' sake. So it
Okay.
is if they don't
Let's
want, I'm
proceed.
fine.
Okay.
So this is the main home page. So here some welcome page and search and browse where we browse this our artifacts. Whatever the stored artifacts, we
We
browse
can see
from here
here.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the home page everyone see. What the special home page we alone can see is after login. So we have to sign in first. So with
Okay.
the Nexus repository, whenever we create, we are provided with default admin user. So it will show you. Okay, when you click the sign in, it will show your admin user password located in this particular location.
Okay.
So we are provided with one admin user. So we are copying that location, entering the name admin as a username, password. We can go to the file system and we
Get and
can
read that particular
chat.
file.
Yeah, read that particular file, and I'm
This is
copying the
the
same.
password.
Please make
Oh,
sure you don't copy the after the Nexus username. Only
okay.
till here. Okay. So I'm making copy of that. Okay, it's done.
Username is admin.
Yeah, admin. There's a default user which we are given with
Okay.
like it is a wizard which you set up this particular. So it's
Okay.
asking to create new password. Same again, I'm giving admin for simplicity.
Username is admin. Password is also admin.
Yeah. And this particular page is asking the what is the matter is if someone anonymously try to access Nexus, do you allow him to access? Yes or no? So that thing I'm disabling because what whoever allowed to access only need to access, not anonymously. Okay. So
Security
I'm
purpose.
disabling it, security purpose. Okay, next it's done, finished.
Okay. So
Okay.
this is
This
how
is
the
the
page looks like
yeah, once
after
the
login.
after login. So quick review. These are total components. How many components we have currently in this? It will update per night time. Maybe whenever the server updating. It is not in our hand. So it will keep count of the components within the this Nexus repository. We artifacts we call in the Nexus is components. Okay, remember the word. I might use this many times, so I will explain that clearly. But remember, the artifacts within the Nexus repository can
Are
be
called
called
as
components.
components.
So these are the count of that artifacts components and unique login. So who is login within the last 24 hours, last 30 days, and request per day. How many requests are made to download the artifacts to the particular Nexus service? Okay, and this is the mode browse view. This is all we call. You can see here is browse, and whatever the settings as admin we can do with in admin mode. So these are we are interested in as an admin. We are interested in this settings part. Okay, and this page cannot be viewed by everyone. I will create one user and with the permission, but he don't see this one. He only see the browse view, so that he can only browse the artifact. But this specially admin view
Only
only
admin user.
admin can user can see. Okay, these are things. And our main interest is as we discussing from the beginning repository, and here come the repository. Within the repository section, we have all these many blocks and some repository blobs or everything we discuss in detail. First repository, as I mentioned, I will.
We can
These are
create
some
a new
default.
repository
Yeah,
also.
it is. These are some default which Nexus create for us. Here we have Maven and a Nugget, and what are these types? Everything I will explain. And blob store. What is this? I mentioned actual store where this Nexus store this artifact. So this is the blob store. I'll explain this also. Proprietary. This is for internal paid library. Sort of say Oracle. You might have come across JDBC drives, right? Drivers. Those are some like paid versions. So we can use these proprietary repositories for that. And content selectors within the repository, we can match some specific like expression, and we can select among for that purpose using cleaning policies. As I mentioned, how long the file not been downloaded, then we are cleaning that file. So there are some rules. I will go through it particularly. Routing rules and what can be allowed to visible for particular user. There are some routing rules and security. And we create here some user and access management, this part, as I mentioned. And these are some system settings like APIs and tasks, nodes, HTTP and email server, everything. Like Nexus server using this particular section, like admin, there are within the company, Nexus admin will be separate. But as a DevOps engineer, we also need to know how, but is like whenever we are given with one link, we have to fetch this from link. So for that we are also need to know this Nexus repository. But within the company we are Nexus, there is a Nexus admin separately. Okay, he will be taking all this and SS certificate as is. Okay, and over to the slide and let it be. We see there and we'll come here. Okay, so we come till here. Hope everything is clear so far, everyone,
Yes, yes. So the
because
Nexus
this is the
server is
main.
ready.
Yeah, as I
So Anand,
mentioned.
what is the next step?
Yeah, I mentioned overview. We see already
We have discussed,
Nexus.
yeah,
Yeah, I have
admin user.
login with the admin user, and I have shown you all this. And default repositories also I have shown all this. Here the interesting part. As I mentioned, there are some repository types, different repository types will be there. So one among few among them is like proxy and group and hosted. What the difference here is, the proxy is like intermediary to another repository. As I mentioned, for Maven repository, we create one proxy repository. Group is like we before going to group, we discuss the hosted. Hosted is like this is actually which we were creating for our internal. Like you can see the in the UI also, proxy, group, hosted. Hosted, these are the one actually we are storing our artifacts in. Okay, and group is like we are grouping such hosted or proxy repositories together. Like we are using many repositories within our project, but we want to only give one link to the developers to fetch or download library anything. So then in that case, we group these all libraries. Like we can add multiple repositories within this group. You can see here what are the repositories we create. It will be listed here, and we can group this all here. So now this group particular, if we create, it will create group of these all repositories. Maven release snapshot central. So that is the group type of repository. Okay, and again, format, as I mentioned, different programming language end up in different repository
Artifacts.
formats. Yeah. So this is the Maven 2 format is for Java artifacts and Nugget for .NET, Docker for Docker images. So again, this kind of thing, it is a note, special note to remember. So you can don't skip this part. Okay, when you are reading the document, we are mentioning each technology has its artifact type, as I mentioned, which can be saved in its own artifact repository format. That's it. Okay. As I mentioned here, Nexus REST API we look through. So now we try to look where to look this Nexus REST API commands. So for that also, so first, what is the REST API? We brief intro about. You can also interact with Nexus using REST API to do multiple things, like query different information, like listing of repositories, like how many repositories you have, and listing of components, like how many components within those repositories, and download an artifact and upload an artifact. Whatever you do literally with the UI, you can do with the next REST API also. That is the motto also, because as a human beings we can browse the things in the browser and we can see and do everything manually, but tools it should be done automatically. So they are making use of this REST API. Okay, so remember please, REST API are meant for tools which interacting with this Nexus repo. Okay, how to interact, like where commands we have and how to interact with using tools like curl or wget to execute HTTP request. Like we using this curl for fetching the information, wget for downloading some artifacts. So using make these tools and we interact with this next REST API. Okay. In the pipeline also we provide these only. We provide pipeline to wget and REST API link, and it will fetch that particular artifact from that given link, and it will be deployed to the like necessary environment, sort of dev or stage, anything. Okay, these are the few commands, REST API commands, how they look like from documentary. I will show the also documentary. Call -admin some this one. Okay, and it is for listing of repository, and again this is of listing of components. And here one main note, please pay attention for this. To use Nexus API or any API, maybe other tool also, we should not always reference. We should always reference the document, not learn by heart. So what is I mean to say here, you no need to by heart these all commands. Why? Because these REST APIs have lot of endpoints and they change time to time. So it's better you always refer the documentation.
Documentation is
Okay,
the best approach.
best approach. Okay, if someone say remember, no, tell them this is a REST API, we are not supposed to by heart it. So I am doing this REST API Nexus. So as I mentioned, it's very search optimized. You can just search it and you will find it. Okay. And here we are interested in, see, there are some which for different options within the UI, we have API for different features like Blob Store. We see here Blob Store API, assets, components, everything. What are in the UI we can see, for the all you have API calls. So for simplicity, we stick to two, like listing repos and listing components within the particular. Okay, so where is the repository? A repository is API. So repository API list, list in repositories here with the user. This is one in general, like it will only show this default, but we use this one. It's
Row
also show,
command.
it will also show the whatever we created. So I'm making use of this command. I copy simply this and running UA again using. Sorry, I think server got connection. Sorry for that. Directly this time login as an Nexus user. Server refresh the key. Okay. Now we switch to the Nexus user. Okay, I copy that command. I'm listing here now. I'm using that. Sorry, copy that.
So
So
this
here,
command to
this,
see list of all the available
yeah,
repositories.
whatever we are seeing here on UI, now we see is on a JSON format. So this is very not interesting, but here is to tell we can also
Yeah,
do whatever we are doing using UI, we can do using commands
command
using
line also,
REST
something
API.
like AWS CLI.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. So we need to pass this username and password. I am doing the same. And
Admin which
here
we have
also,
created.
yeah, and also the local host, our public IP address of the Nexus server. Okay, this one. So I am paste that one also. So as expected, it should list the repositories within. Okay, so
Perfect.
I'm making this as a big so that it can be seen
The list of
fully.
repositories are
So
available.
yeah, here it started. Okay, so see Nugget hosted, Nugget group, Nugget snapshot, Maven public, Nugget proxy, Maven release. As we see all within this UI itself, right? These only it's showing. Okay, so we are interested sort of say now particularly we want to see snapshot folder what we have. So first we confirm within the UI. So as I mentioned, these is the settings. We cannot access the uh, now we cannot access the artifact here. You should go browse view in order to access the artifact. We will check browse whether is have any. So no, it should return null or something. Okay, as expected.
It is
So we will
empty.
check that. Yeah, empty. We'll check that one also. It is a component. So I'm listing now components. So I'm looking for component API. So I'm making use of again this command. So component. So it is central here. So for simplicity, we also go with the central. Okay. So whatever I'm telling here is not to remember the commands. Go to the official documentation, please. Again, I'm mentioning. So don't afraid of these commands. Okay. Once we need to remember all this. No, it is not. Okay. You are not to remember here to anything. But we need to know how things can be done using that particular. That is our own knowledge. Okay. So it's as expected, it's giving null.
No
Okay.
components.
Yeah. Once we upload, again we check the same and we
Okay.
check if there any shows the component. Okay. So far anything doubt,
It's
anyone,
clear.
anyhow?
Perfect.
Perfect, right? So next, blob store. I am going to explain. So blob store, you might have heard the term blob. It is the storage where we storage data as a chunks like images, videos, binary files, anything. It is like blobs, like we divide it into number of blobs and we store. This storage particularly we call blob store. You can see this in Azure. If you come across blob storage, is the storage class also there separate. In Azure, we in AWS, it is the same equivalent to S3. You might have know this AWS, so it kind of say S3. You can understand. Okay, clear everyone? Hello, am I audible? Hello, 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 hello. Am I audible? Any Sunil sir, am I audible? Hello, hello. Everyone, am I audible? Hello, 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 hello. Am I audible? Please someone respond. I'm audible. Hello. Okay. As soon as I mentioned, there is some network issue from his end. Okay. I'm still continuing. So blob store, this one is like the storage, actual storage where the Nexus keep artifacts. Like for us, user as a users, Nexus is a artifact repository to store artifacts. But actually, Nexus itself needs some storage to keep all this, right? So that's actual storage is called blob store. With by default, one is created that is with the name default. It will be of 5 GB. You can see here, and blob counts. As I mentioned, the data which is stored within this store as a blobs. So it shows one. This one why because whatever we changes we done so far, like configuration, we say like creating this password, everything, whatever we have done so far, it needs some storage, right? So it is stored in that particular blob. That one count is one. So I will show you in the file system also how it look like. I'm moving to this slash opt file and ls. And as I mentioned, the storage part is we consent okay, we store it in sonatype. So we go to the sonatype folder, and again we go to nexus 3 file and ls blobs. You can see here it is shown blobs. Okay. So yeah, item mark is turned on. So yeah, it is blob. Again, I'm trying to go within the blobs. So again, I'm ls. Here we see the default one, whatever here available, you see the same one here. Okay. So I'm going to the default. What actually inside I'm trying to see. Okay, I now in the within the default ls. So here the content and metadata and reconciliation. So content is the actual one which holding the data. So I'm going this file as well and clearing the screen and ls. So volume 28 blob, one blob as a volume 28. Okay. So this is, so we go to that also, we can see it is what within the inside. It is chapter 30. It is the way in which the nexus store the data. Okay, it is the nexus kind of way storing the things. Okay, it is not like it should store in one folder. No, it is the nexus wish to how it is stored. And but what our main concern as a user is, whenever we try to retrieve, it should give whatever we ask for. How it will give, from where it will give, it is up to nexus. Okay, so this is the actual data. Okay, so you can long list also to see the file types. Sorry. Yeah, all these are files. Okay, so this is the one, and we can create new blob also. But before creating the blob, we need to consider few things. So over to the document. So blob store cannot be modified. Please remember, once we create the blob store, we can't modify that blob store. Okay, so you create using this some size, like say sort of 5 GB. Yeah, it's fixed. You cannot make it like less or more later. Okay. Blob store used by repository cannot be deleted. Okay, before that we need to store. And once this blob store are created, we need to attach it to the repositories. Like say randomly I'm opening one repository like snapshot. See storage, this particular repository use which blob store, we need to attached. By default this is already created, so it is already attached to the default blob store. But when we are creating new repository, we need to attach this blob store also. Okay, so that's what I am mentioning here. Blob store used by repository can't be deleted. And one more thing, if we attach this blob store to this particular repository, we cannot delete it later. So whenever you are attaching one particular blob store, make sure you attach the correct blob store. Okay. So you cannot delete once the blob store is attached to particular repository. Okay. So again, before creating blob store, now the point we want, like we are creating. So how many blob stores you create, like how many within your project, how many blob store you want to create, first thing you have to be sure about it. Okay. And with which sizes and what are the sizes you want to give to those blob stores. Okay. And which one you will use for which repo, like there are many repositories, so which one you use it for which repository. Okay. And you need to know approximately how much space each repo will need. Like now we have many repositories, like here, Maven Central, Maven Snapshot, Maven is everything. So we have to make sure how much space at a time, at point of time, the storage like a repository needs. Like because here we storing, but at the same time we are cleaning also using cleaning policy. So it's not the case all the time, like we have increasing order. No, at some point of time there is a constant by, because we are adding at the same time cleaning policy will delete this one particular artifact. So there is some, we come across some constant number also. So not exactly, but we can estimate this much storage needed for this particular repository. So we have should have that idea also before creating. Okay. So by saying that, I'm creating one blob, and with for blob store we can use both file system within the server, like we have Nexus, Ubuntu server. It will make use of file system, and by the remaining storage, like here first blob is created, you see first it is a 5 GB. So file system we are not given with option to choose the size, so it will defaultly allocate the storage which is left over, like sort of it's a default, like automatic sort of say. Okay. So we are creating, and one more option is S3. So you just S3, it is like S3 bucket, and you should give name and region, you should consider, and bucket name you should give, path prefix anything, and expiry days, how many days the blob, like any artifact should be removed. Okay. Authentication part, everything. This soft quota is like whenever we are reaching the limit, exceeding like that particular limit, Nexus will alert us, okay, your blob is going to be full, so please do something. How? Using this in system settings, email server. Okay. So where is it? Blob store. Okay. But we are not interested in this, we create this
Create a
simply
new
file
blob
system.
storage.
Yeah. Okay. And the name should be unique across the Nexus. So now we have
Okay.
default one. Here we create like my store for simplicity. This is a path defaultly added by the Nexus, because where it is end up is in the file system. It is
Okay.
saying that. Okay. And we save. See, now it is also allocated this
5
5,
GB.
but yeah, this is with the 0. Okay. So this is how blob store and contents. So before move to components assets, I would like to do this setup, pipeline setup. So then I can explain these component assets more easily, because we have some data to show up here within the repo. Okay.
Okay.
So for that, I'm going to this my EC2 instance Jenkins. I'm trying to start it. Am I going fast? Please tell me if anyone not getting
Yeah.
meanwhile.
So let's have some interaction. Is that okay, Anand?
Yeah.
Is the
Okay.
participant okay?
Yeah. Fine.
So
Fine.
Anand, if you can see, there are in the participants list. Can you see there are few participants who are raising their hands? Can you see?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can select on that particular person name, and there's an
Okay.
option called allow to talk. Then
Allowed.
only they are allowed
Yeah.
to talk. Okay. So you can
Okay.
randomly select one person and have some interaction.
Okay. I have allowed
Rajesh.
Rajesh
Yeah, welcome,
Vallal.
Rajesh.
Uh, uh, s- could you hear me, Anand?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear
Yes.
you. You can question your
I'm
question.
really sorry. I didn't raise the hand. I don't know. You can ignore me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
So I'm giving Rajender to
Yeah.
Rajender M. Hello, Rajender. Okay. We go to the another.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Rajender here. Unfortunately, I joined late, sir. So I could not able to understand.
No problem, Rajender. This session is recorded. Okay.
Recorded, sir.
You can watch the recording and you can catch up the concepts what you already said. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that
I think we
another
can
one.
talk with Ashish.
Yeah, Ashish Dwivedi. Ashish, I allowed you to talk. Please raise your doubts.
Good afternoon, Ashish. You can speak now. You have to unmute and talk. Ashish,
Okay, I
if you have any
think
question, you are now allowed to unmute and talk. Ravi is having some question. You can talk with Ravi D.
Yeah, okay. Ravi, okay. Yeah, I allow him to talk. Ravi. Ravi.
Hello. Hi, Anand. Me.
Yes.
Uh, is it this Nexus is only for explicitly for only repository storing, or we can do the build and how it is?
No, this is storage kind of.
Oh, explicitly only for storage only.
Yeah, storage. We for build purpose we have build tools and package manager tools, as I explained beginning of in the beginning of the slide.
Actually, I
So
have a
this,
few minutes later I joined. Actually, initially I didn't.
yeah, fine. That's fine. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Who is this Ashwini GT? Can you speak
Good
up?
afternoon, Ashwini. You can talk now.
Yeah, hi Sunil, hi Anand. I have one
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
As you said, like this Nexus will support irrespective of Java or any other technology, right? So when we installed by default, we were seeing only Maven repository by default. It was available. So
Yeah.
why it didn't had any other technologies repository by default? So
Yeah, that is a good question. Actually, these are the one popularly used language in the industry, so it is given with the default. Doesn't mean we cannot have another, because we can have more. I'm showing here repository. You can create multiple such. See here all the options available with the different formats like Docker, Helm, Maven, npm, Nugget, Pipey. There's a list goes on. It is since it is a open source version, we are limited to this many. But if I had this commercial version, this list goes on. Okay, I think I'm clear with the doubt, right?
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going back to this, like, for this Jenkins server. Okay, Sunil,
Yeah.
can I do that?
You can proceed with the session now. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you? Okay, please. I don't know where it is, Ashwini. So please unmute yourself, Ashwini. So meanwhile, it is started, I think. Yeah, it is done. I'm trying to access that using putty. I have created Jenkins as a Docker container, so I'm just checking whether Docker service itself up or not. For simplicity, sorry, it's spelling mistake. Okay, it's running. So I'm listing out. Okay, no container running. The stop container is the first one, my container. So I'm starting that container. So this is my way of creating Jenkins server. It is not the same within the industry. Okay. For simplicity, I make quick setup using Docker container. Okay. Don't get confused. Okay, now it's running. So we can access now Docker also. Sorry, our Jenkins server also. Jenkins server runs at port 8080. Please be patient. We are about wind up in not more than half an hour, because I want to make you things clear. Because once this session, you are like, if anyone asks, Nexus, so you should say yes. you should be able to explain everything. That's why I'm taking little more time and making you think everything like easy. Okay. So okay, before logging, I want to give some brief intro about Jenkins. Not a very brief, because here, how many of you observe this logo? It is the one we can see in our real life. It is like waiter within the restaurant. Like in the restaurant, he is the same one as this guy in the logo. So just think what waiter do in the like hotel. He does not himself do anything, but for customers, who is the taking everything, like making taking food to the
Takes the
customer.
request from the customer.
Yeah, raise the request, and making everything done. Everything is done by this guy, but he's actually not preparing the food, not the owner, nothing, but he is in the middle guy who helping everything to everyone. So that's how Jenkins also do the same here. But as a server, the server know where the food is available, where the counter is, where the customer table, where the thing, everything he should know prior serve the customer. That's how same Jenkins also, in order to serve as a build tool, like a build automation tool, we should make Jenkins clear about everything, which technology we are using, which tools we are using, where to deploy once the artifact is built, and where to fetch, and which server you need to, everything. This is the guy who this automatically for us behalf of. So that is the thing. Okay, I hope this scenario will be something related so that everyone can understand easily. So by with that said, I'm going to log in this. So I actually set up some tools which we are using in my project. So I'm showing my GitHub repository. So I think, sorry for the just incognito mode, I think I'm closing this here. It is already there available. Already I log in here. Okay. Uh, okay, this is the some random code I have fetched from some developer GitHub repo. It's a user registration form when you are trying to register some course or some course, everything, anything. Okay, which is written in Java,
This
and for every Java,
repository URL, can our participants have access to this repository?
yeah, I make it public. I'll also provide with the link.
In the
Okay,
notes, please mention it.
yeah, definitely. Okay, you can access this, and as every Java project have this dependency POM.xl and this server file and source, everything. And as a DevOps engineer, we are not concerned about the code. What our role is do, once the developer push the code, we have to make it automate till the production. So we are not very concerned or very not interesting stuff for us. These all things. So but here interesting is this repo link we need, because developer push to this repo, we need this repo link. So okay. So where I state is okay, dashboard. So I'm creating one new job. So before creating, sorry, actually, hope everyone have covered up Jenkins. Sunil,
Yeah,
over to you.
everybody are aware of Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins. Okay. Everybody know global tool configuration, everything.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I did two global tool setup here. One is like Maven, which is used for Jenkins projects, and one is Git. Why Git is Jenkins itself need to fetch the code from Git repo. So using Git commands like Git pull, whatever. So as I mentioned, Jenkins is the one who helping, but we have to tell explicitly where the things are available and what you can access with, like using which you can access it. So where we tell this in tools. Okay, I have added those only. So for simplicity, I'm
Please show
using
the
this.
tools so to
Yeah,
our
I'm going. Yeah,
participants.
I this Jenkins server itself slow is not the network connection. Even when you try to create, also it will be slow. It is slow. Okay, you cannot do anything. But it is something interesting things to know, because many DevOps engineers know how things work, but like where it is set up everything from the scratch, they don't know. So the difference with the session who attended this and other session. Okay, here as I mentioned, I have attached one tool Git. I name it and it is the executable file location. And one more thing, within the Git we can download the tools in the server itself. Like we have Jenkins server here running. Within the server we can directly download the tools, or else we can on the go we can provide the binary files for this see, now what I'm going to say is we can directly make use of on the go tools, or we can directly install within the server also. What I have done here to show the two cases, I have downloaded Git within the server, like accessing the Jenkins server and within the server. So I will also better show that. So again this session. Please be patient. These are something important which everyone not know. I'm trying to with the insights of the like project I'm telling, because who the done, who didn't do the things will be caught here definitely. So I want to make you understand these things. Okay. So I'm thinking this Docker. Yes, that's running. Docker exit. I found it. So this is the inside the Docker server, sort of container means inside the server, and checking whether Git is installed or not. So see, I have installed Git within the, so which Git will give the binary location of that particular tool. So I copy the same and I have pasted here. Okay, is that clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
already
what
have
I am,
installed Git.
yeah, I already installed it. It's also simple. It's also Debian based, so apt tool you can use and install.
APT from the repository you have installed Git.
Yeah, repository as a apt update first and after the installation. And this is the one use case. And again here Maven also something we need here because of Java project. So what I am going here is install automatically on the go. What we are doing is like we are giving the name instead of adding Maven, we are using install automobile option and we choose the version only. So rest we leave to the Jenkins. What Jenkins do is while the running the job, it will make use of this tool Maven on the go with the same version, and it will run our job and may build the artifact. Okay, these are two things we should know as a DevOps engineer, how the tools can be
Okay.
configured within the Jenkins. Okay, one we can directly install on the server, or we can use on the go with the versions
From the
provided by
dashboard.
Jenkins. Yeah, okay. So with that said,
Okay.
I'm going to the job, the exciting part, because this is the one we are waiting for, because these are repository, everything we know theoretically, but now it's time to see practically. Okay. For that,
So
as I
Jenkins should
said,
push the code into the GitHub repository.
yeah, I copy the repository link,
Nah.
GitHub.
Okay.
I'm creating new item. So I'm simply giving the name Nexus job. It's a freestyle, as I mentioned, it will be the easy one to start with. So I'm going for freestyle. And okay, now I make use of this admin credentials only within the job, but that is not the reality. In reality, we create one more user with the limited permissions, like he is only allowed to fetch particular repositories only. Can I do that, Sunil, or we go with the admin user?
To start with, let's go with admin user.
Yeah, okay. So since it's a public repo, we don't need any authentication. So for that, any credential not needed. Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, we need to make sure now the main branch we have master branch, because there are sometimes it is a master or main. Now it is main. So make
Main.
sure Yeah, you mentioned this as a main only because it is by
Main.
default in the beginning master, so it is like that only. Okay, we are not interested in all these options. These are some environment setup and this webhook setup. We build steps. Okay, invoke top level Maven
Invoke
targets.
Maven target.
Yeah, Maven version as we global to setup, we give Maven and we giving Maven targets. We have 7 like clean install package everything. From again one I'm using cleaning install. What it will do is it will delete all the existed and it will freshly do the packaging from the beginning. Okay, so it is will do that, and after that, please make a note of this plugin. I will just copy. Let it be the job, and I will one more tab. To Nexus to integrate with this Jenkins, we need one plugin. So I'm going to show that plugin. It's a Nexus artifact uploader. You can note down the name also.
Okay.
Even I show the, but it is important because when you have worked with the Nexus repo integrating this Jenkins, you should know this plugin names by default. Okay, under managing Jenkins, the UI itself slow. It is not my network connection for information. So Jenkins every time slow like this. Yeah, okay. Plugin session. Okay. Actually, it should be like in available plugins. When you do available plugins and search. But as I install, it moved to the install plugins. I'll show you that in the install plugins. Okay. Everybody clear? You should search that in
Yeah, it
available
is already
plugins.
installed. Yeah.
Yeah, in my server it is already installed, so it will not be available on this available plugin. So I'm directly going to the install plugins. I will search and show you that name. Nexus. You see the one with the version
Nexus artifact
2.14
uploader.
uploader. Okay, you should
Okay.
make
Okay.
install this, and if that install, we are ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, with unless until you don't install here, we don't see this Nexus artifact uploader option. Please remember, if you don't see this option, means you are not installed the plugin. Clear?
Okay.
So you need to select that. So here we are using Nexus 3.6.9. So I am going for the same here version, that one, and Nexus URL. Nexus URL we can either provide this Nexus
Easy
server
to machine.
public IP, yeah, easy to machine public IP, or we can make use of this DNS also. I am interested within this DL because this public IP, whenever you stop and restart again, it will changes every time. So we need to change the again and again here. So better we go for DNS which is constant. Okay, is that okay for
Okay.
everyone?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm doing the same. I have copied that, and don't forget the port. Okay, it is accessible with at that link column port number. Please don't forget to mention the port number. Okay, and credentials. One more, credentials we don't have like a Nexus repository. We disable the anonymous access, like nobody allowed to access without proper credentials. So even Nexus are not exemption from that. So we have to give some credentials to Nexus to access the Jenkins to access the Nexus. So I'm creating that one under
Admin
this.
credentials. Yeah.
Yeah, admin credentials. I'm giving that one. Actually, these are like
Username
some,
admin,
yeah.
password admin.
Okay. I'm giving Nexus credentials. Nexus I'm giving. Specified already exists. Sorry, in my show already
It's already
exists.
there. So you can use existing. Okay. It's Anand.
But it is not the one Nexus admin. So Sorry for that. I forgot. Either I should create the user or I should delete that.
Or let's create a new user. I think it becomes
Yeah,
simple.
new user. Yeah. Okay. What we have to first we need to give the permissions what he can do to the user. Those permissions are called privileges, and role something like uh, whoever have attached to this role he can do those tasks. First we attach these privileges to the roles and role to the user. Please remember the order. Privileges are something we are allowing to do that particular role. Okay, and role is whoever have attached to this role. That user can do this privilege task. Hope I am clear.
Okay, it
The
is
same
clear.
with the AWS IAM role also. Okay.
Yeah.
First privileges. We have few privileges here. These are like whatever inside Nexus, you can give some granular permissions. Like if we only allowed to access one particular repo, you can give that. And something to up all means have
All privileges. Yeah.
all privileges. So I am giving some like Nexus uh, repository. Sorry, I give this snapshot. Maven snapshots already created, right? I'll give this particular permission to this Anand user. I am going to create. Okay. Just wait, I forgot the name, but he need to, yeah, Nexus repository. This naming convention only. Nexus. Go by searching. Yeah, it's Maven Central Browse Public, and I am going to the snapshots. Admin view. I'm interested in view because
So these are
this
all
view,
default privileges.
yeah, default privileges within already existed within the Nexus itself
Okay.
for us. I'm looking for one thing like a Nexus snapshot privilege. So I'm just making use of this name, but not. I will edit this name. Just Maven snapshot. Why I am using this particular means this view permission privilege can be used to add, delete, update,
Okay.
like all these things
All
for
the permissions.
particular repo. I'm
Okay.
using this one. Okay. I
Okay.
need this name. Why? Because in the role I want this name. So that's why I search
Okay.
this one. So here two already
Create a new
existed.
role.
Type it's an Nexus role. I'm giving like Nexus Java because we are doing Java task. For user, I give the Anand name. Okay, it is a something role name, so that's why I'm doing this one. Nexus Java. So as I
Here we
mentioned
have to
here,
select the
yeah.
privilege.
So here I think modify privileges. We have to filter. Yeah, here it is. View snapshots. We have to tick this and confirm.
Okay.
Okay. So these are it's done. So
Now we
again
need to create
user.
new user.
Yeah, user. It is like Anand, 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 Anand. I'm giving Anand password only for
Okay.
simplicity. Activate.
And
See
here we need
the
to
role
assign the
we
role.
have created. Yeah, role we have created. It is already show up here. You
Select
just
the role.
select, so it will move here. That means
Okay.
this attached. Okay.
Okay.
Create local user.
User
So it's
created.
done. You can check whether the user created properly by sign out and signing in with the new user.
Anand.
You can confirm. It's created. Now see,
Working
we
successfully.
are not allowed to see the admin settings view.
Okay.
We are
Because
only
you are
allowed to
not
browse,
admin.
give the permission, and even more, we granular to one particular repository.
Repository only.
So now we are making use of this Anand user and allowing the Jenkins to upload the
Communicate to
artifact
Anand
to
user.
this.
Yeah.
through Anand user and upload to this particular snapshot repository.
Repository.
Okay. So this is the one. Okay, these are something we need to get from this, like sort of say from the pom.xml. These are some available group ID, all this. Why? Because in the next when we uploading, there are two parts, like where we are uploading and what we are uploading. Okay, please remember, whenever we uploading, we have two things to make sure for the Jenkins, like where we are uploading, what we are uploading. Okay, first we have confirmed where we are uploading with these options, like Nexus repo URL and everything, credentials, everything, and what we are uploading, like artifact part, this one. Okay, for that we need group ID, which is we can get it from this pom.xml definitions file. Any developers in the list, like students, here more know about this. So these are the group ID. Yeah, pom.xml.
Project.
Yeah,
That
group
is a group
ID
ID.
and Maven project is also artifact ID. Okay, I'm stick to this group ID com dot example. I will use of this. Okay, just wait. Version, the version also it is available. I think 1.0 snapshot. Yeah, okay. It is something kind of developers you can get this info from. Don't worry if you find something this one like new, because it is something developers themselves make available for us. Okay, and here repository, which repository we are going to update, like within the Nexus, which repository? Maven snapshot.
Snapshot.
You should be giving the correct name. Okay, see Maven snapshots with
Shots.
the s included. Okay,
Okay.
this. And artifacts, which artifacts, like artifact, like what type, what like file type it have, everything we need to add that one also. Artifact id as I mentioned here, this Maven project serves as an artifact id. Okay, see everything I am making use of this developer pom.xml, everything, but this info you can directly ask the developers.
Development team
But
will
since
give the information.
since there is no developer, I am taking the role developer, I am fetching myself the information. Okay, and this type is like which what the artifact type it will generate, because I know it is already Java project, it will create the var, I am directly mentioning it var, but you make sure this confirm everything from the
Development
developer.
team.
Okay, and it is the file where the file will be created. So for this particular project and every Maven projects with using Maven tool, it will create one target folder. Hope everybody know this.
Yeah.
So within the target only our artifact will be stay. Okay, web app slash
Target.
target slash web app dot var. I think that is the correct version. I have write down the details. Please give me a second. Why? Because I am writing, checking this cross check, because I don't want this job to fail. So that's why. So, so far, any doubts, anyone?
Yeah, it's okay.
Just be patient, because I'm making things everything clear. So it might be delay, but
Okay, no problem.
yeah, it is the exact location of that file. Okay,
Okay.
I have save. So before we check here, there is inside also, it is an empty. Okay, please wait for the pipeline to run and it will upload the artifact to this particular repository. Okay, just wait, let it be saved, the job, and I will trigger the job. Then I am start the bill. Meanwhile, we can check the logs also, console output. You can also cross check here by refreshing. Yeah, you can see here it's already started uploading the artifacts.
Previously it
Okay.
was empty. Now
It was empty. Now
folders
it
are
is
created.
under com.example group, Maven artifact, and
Snapshot.
snapshot. Okay, this is the actual war file. Okay,
Perfect.
there's something Nexus kind of structure. As I mentioned, it also like provide the option to save metadata and versioning. This is something structure which is purely for Nexus to do with. So we have nothing to do with. But whenever we fetch, we want that artifact which we should be Nexus to give us. Okay, we are more concerned about artifact, but how it stores is like it is a Nexus kind of thing. Okay,
Default project structure.
yeah, it's a default. So since it is a job also success, and you can see the also it is
Finished
going to this
successfully.
particular repository accessing, and it's uploading here, and it is finished successfully, and the job is success. Okay,
Perfect.
so this is how it should done. But once it is done, uploaded here, it is not done. Why? Because we are need to deploy this in the server, like like dev or a stage or UAT. That will be the CD part, continuous deployment. Now we are ended in between the CI part, like continuous integration, where artifact is ended in repository. From here, the we will provide the pipeline, CD pipeline to the deploy it in the server, different dev or stage or anything. Okay, I'm not going into that because that is something pipeline we should have all this. That would be more confusing for you, but as of you remember this Nexus tool will sit within the in between the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, am I clear?
Yeah, Anand, I have one question. Let's say if we
Yeah,
run the Jenkins job one more time,
yeah.
so two versions of the artifact will be available now?
No, it is how your build tool configure versions, because some we dynamically update the versioning using some build tool functionality. But here, every time we upload only, we restrict to the 1.0. We are hard code the version. But there is also option within the Maven. We can dynamically update this version. Every time we run the build, it will increase one version. So
Okay, okay.
then the
In the
Nexus shows.
artifact also, Nexus also, we can see two versions.
Yeah, yeah. But this time we again run the pipeline, the same version again we uploaded one more time.
Old
That's
folder
it.
structure will be replaced with the new folder structure. Will it
No,
happen?
it will add one more, nothing like that. It will think all artifacts individually uploaded are
Okay,
important. So
okay,
it will think and it will upload again, but within
okay,
another structure. Okay.
okay.
So hope this is clear so for everyone.
Perfect. Yeah,
How
this is what we
okay.
are planning for.
Yeah, and
So,
again, so we are left with two little bit topics, two more only, the
okay,
very small one. As I mentioned, artifacts can be called components within the Nexus and assets. I want to differentiate with both of this. And whatever we uploading is into the Nexus repository is a component, like it's an abstract. Say your logical lab technology is some component, and students, you are the actual students are the assets. Like actual files are the assets, and whatever you're uploading the out this folder, this is called component. Hope I am clear.
yes.
So you can see also that is the same in the theory. It's an abstract what we are uploading. The term component refers to any type of the format. Whatever you upload into the Nexus, it's a component. But
It can.
actual the physical package is the asset. One component may have one or more assets. Like we have here one component com with this many assets, and few like I don't remember the name. There is one asset, one component only have. And also something interest, how the Docker images deal with component assets is Docker image itself a component, and the layers, hope Docker got covered for the students. So these layers it built with, those are the assets with in case of Docker.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how. And the exciting part, this is cleaning policies. How our storage is like optimized, maintained, so that our report not full within one day. Because every time developer push the code, our pipeline will build the artifact and will push. So imagine within one day how many artifacts will end up in the repository. So that we don't want to happen. So that's why we do this cleanup policies. So again, I'm going into the admin because I need to set up I log out this Anand user. I'm again logging as the admin. So again, I'm going to the settings. Please remember, browser view, we can only access the assets like artifacts, everything. In the admin settings view, you only set up the things like setting everything. Okay. So I'm interested in cleaning policies. So far, we don't have any. I am creating one cleaning policy. You name it, cleaning policy. I am cleaning it for Maven format. Maven format is Maven 2. Description why you creating whatever. So here you can give the options release type, it's a snapshot or anything, everything. So it is a snapshot. And one more thing, this snapshot is the internal word which application when it is in a development stage we use this word snapshot with end of all artifact. Release means like it is ready to go to the production, and pre-release like it is under the test. Okay, please remember, I'm using these words but not explained. So please remember snapshot, pre-release, release. Okay. So I'm literally selecting all means it is anything. Okay. And here's it. Component age. Components published over X days ago. Like if any components should with 30 days ago uploaded, please delete that. I'm literally telling that with this option. Okay. I'm not going that because we uploaded today, so it doesn't match our condition. So why? Because I want to show how it clean up. So that's why I want to match the perfect condition. Component usage, like if it is not been downloaded since these many days, like artifact is already there, but nobody using it. Like no server, it is deployed in, and no user is fetching it anyway. So if that is same situation for 3 days, please delete that. So this is that condition. And moreover here exact name, we can give the particular project. We have all artifact names are like specific to that all like entire industry, like we have unique names, so it is suggested to the unique name, so we have unique name, so we can give that name also, like we have now some 1.0 web app like that. So what I am doing is like matching with the wildcard everything. So whatever, please delete that, and we can check that here preview because we don't want to delete things accidentally. So once these options selected for different repository what can be deleted, we can check here. So we are interested in snapshot because we anyhow we know these three repositories don't have any assets, so we directly going. So once this policy created in snapshot repo, this project will be deleted is showing. Okay.
Okay.
Am I clear? This
Yes.
thing can be deleted. It is a preview. Before you creating actual policy,
It is showing
we
you
are
what will be deleted.
yeah, what will be deleted because we don't want to things deleted accidentally. Okay. So I'm creating, and once the creating, it is not done. So we need to attach this particular policy to that repository. Please remember,
Okay.
everybody create that, but they think it is done. No, the thing is we have
Attach
to
policy.
attach that policy. See here, whenever before
Clean
it
up
was
policy.
empty, now we are create here this applied.
Okay.
So save. Okay, once it is done everything. So now the repository is clean. We'll see what happens. See, still it is there. What happening actually? So what happening is whenever we create these cleaning policies, Nexus will create one scheduled task to clean that in free time, like nights. Many
Okay.
times it nights or early in the morning. You can see that in the system settings in the tasks bar. See here, cleanup services created.
Scheduled.
It is, yeah, scheduled for 6:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, but we don't have that much time. We
Want to run
want
now.
to run now, so we can do this manually. We are running it. Okay. Okay, now what you think, it is clear? Okay.
Cleared. Yes.
So sorry, is this view? Oh, sorry, browse view. Okay. Okay, it's done.
No repositories.
But
Yeah.
no any artifact
assets.
assets. Any, okay. So one interesting thing, nobody will tell you this one. Please remember. Now this deletion is like soft mark deletion. Hope you know this S3 bucket deletion policies, everyone.
Yes.
If they, that would be very easy if they know, because whenever we delete, it will not delete
It will be
directly,
marked
it
as
will
deleted.
marked up for, yeah, marked as deleted. Same will happen here. See, within the blobs we have using default storage, it will still show the count is 7 because our artifacts, these are marked for soft delete only, but actual within the file system These are
Still
not
available.
deleted, still available. Why it is? Because we want, like anyone accidentally delete anything, they want to restore that same. We don't tell this to developers, but we as a DevOps engineers, Nexus admins only know this thing. Okay,
Okay.
but still
We
this
can
consumes
restore.
storage. Yeah, you can restore, but also we don't want this because it consumes the storage. So even up to someday we would keep that. After that we still need to delete this really, like from file system also. For that we create another task, is the Nexus admin task, to create compact blob store task. This is very, very important. This is the actual task, clearing the file system storage. See, before we have 7 blobs and with some storage. Now I am creating one task, clean task, camp blob compact. I'm naming. So you can give email, everything. But for which blob store? This one. And frequency, how frequently you want to run this task. So you can select. We do this in reality like monthly based on the size of the server, weekly, because we wait till week someone come up to restore some files. If nobody show up, we delete that within that week. Okay, so but now we are here, we want to run it manually. So I'm checking, selecting manual because we don't have that much time, and creating the task. Same, the task again schedule for next run. Okay, but we want to run it manually because
Run
we
now.
don't have that much now. Run. Okay, now we will check browse view. It is again, it is anyhow, it is clear from browse view. We want to check the blob store, right? See, before it was 7, now it is 1.
Only
You may
one.
be wondering what is this even 1, because this is the one storage used to create all these users, everything. Like these settings, configure storage files are there, not the
Okay.
artifact one. Okay, am I clear, everyone?
Clear. Only 7 KB. That's all.
Yeah, 7 KB. So I would have shown the same within the file system also, but it is went up down. So I need to again take the login. So I will show the same. Just please, these are something I am telling with all efforts and inside data. Please don't understand anything. Please ask me. Okay, I'm thinking everyone is understanding. This is the purpose of the main this workshop. Please, if you don't understand anything, please let me know. I'll give you Q&A session time also, 5-10 minutes. Okay. So I'm trying to go to the tab. Sorry, it is a Sono tab. Sorry, I mistakenly come into the Nexus. So going to the Sono tab, and again Nexus 3, and again blobs. Again con illness default blob. Again in the content folder, I remember this content less. See, these are some. These all are empty. Among these, only one having this particular configuration files. Okay, this the something division. All this kind of Nexus thing, how it store the data.
Okay.
It does not do with anything as a user, but it is a Nexus kind of mechanism storage all this. Okay, among this particular blob only exists in one among. So even if you want, I can go to the one volume. Meanwhile, I can show you this because this is a very granular storage. It is very strict in the storage, but also retrieval is also that much quick. So see here, we go this VLS. There is nothing inside the volume 02 chapter 32. We try to list out. There is nothing. It shows. Okay, it's empty. So that all among this empty, only one have one configuration some sort of file. I don't
Okay.
want to look into that. Okay.
Perfect.
So this is the thing, a very brief, and these all option you might be wondering how many, why this many settings, and these all are like one time setup. Even you don't get to chance to set up, but every time you work with this repository part, please be thorough with this. If you don't understand, practice and practice and practice. And these are like some access management. These are some like set up this server configuration. So nothing to do with this, and also it is already there when you go there. But it's also good practice. You want to know more about them, it's okay. The documentation is also well was. You can simply understand. But I don't want stress because it may lead to confusion. So far it is clear, everyone.
Perfect. Yeah.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
going
Thank
to
you,
back my
Anand. It was a wonderful session. So scheduled
yes.
task. I think did we complete all the points what we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
planned?
complete. All complete. Yeah,
Thank you.
everything.
It's a good knowledge session, Anand. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think let's have some time interacting with some questions and
Yeah,
answers.
yeah.
Okay.
Somebody raising the. I'm giving Rajesh, please. Rajesh.
Um, Sunil, whether we will get this recording section?
Yes, this recording session will be available in our YouTube channel, as well as Mr. Anand will also share some Word document, okay, with some other notes he's showing.
And
You
one
will
more
all
thing,
also have access.
I have prepared this in this web page format. Please, I was don't know this one. So it will show up only correct in the web page format. Please maintain that one. With you go with
No
one by
problem.
one.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
this technical part editing, so please
No
ignore it.
problem. Please share that, Anand. Please share that to
Yeah,
me.
definitely,
I'll be
definitely.
sharing to the participants. Okay, Rajesh?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sunil.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, extra someone, Ashish, Ashish Divedi.
Let's go with Rahul G.
Yeah, Rahul.
Hi, Anand, am I audible?
Yeah, audible.
Yes. So you were mentioning some repository types like group, hosted, and all. Could you tell what exactly it is? Which one to be selected when?
Group is like grouping other repositories of other types. Like we have proxy. Proxy, you have clear with the proxy.
Yeah.
Proxy is like for official public repository we are creating within the Nexus so that only have one endpoint. And hosted is actual one we are storing the artifact. This group is like in the project within the project we are using many language like for front end JavaScript, backend some Java or Python. So all this public repository practice also we want to give one link only. Like we can group this all how it would be. That is the concept behind the grouping this group repository because we create proxy for particular JavaScript and Python, and we can group these two repositories with the group repository type. So now this group repository itself act one endpoint for the two proxy repositories. Am I clear?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah. Next, Rajendra, Abdul.
Yeah, hi Anand. How we are
Yeah.
integrating this? I joined a little late. This Sonar Nexus repository in actual real projects. How we are integrating and then triggering those part? Can you show me now? Possible.
Yeah, it is as it is actually shown. This is only the job only. This is the concept. We are using making use of here plugin.
Plugin.
Here we are created freestyle, but in the reality we are not dealing with the freestyle. We have pipelines, multi-branch pipeline, modes of pipelines, all these things. That is a scripted thing. So you will get more confused if I come up with that. So I stick to this freestyle. So using pipeline only, we literally tell Jenkins everything like where the server exists and where you to upload and what is the endpoint you should fetch if anything needed to upload deployed in the server everything. And Nexus will be done everything behalf of us. That's it.
Okay, in that script file will be available. You are telling, right?
Sorry.
In the Jenkins script file.
Yeah, Jenkins file, not is a script file. You can say Jenkins file. We officially name it as a Jenkins file. We do the all this groovy scripting part in that. It's a declarative pipeline mostly we use. Sometimes also imperative, which is like kind of more scripting need groovy language knowledge. We are not interested in that. We stick to this Nexus because that is already the thing existed. In the reality, what you do is copying the jobs from one already existing job. You can see in the dashboard also. Here I am creating the new job from the beginning, but in the industry, what it is, whenever we try to create the new job, it will show copy from option downside. You can check with also. So that is where all previous jobs exist, and we can mimic the actual exist job, and we will change the endpoints. That's it. most of the time. But you have to know if it is do from the scratch. You have to know that also. I'm not saying you only practice like that. No, but you have to know the both. Okay, I'm just showing you for the demo purpose. But this is a not really good practice. But this is the thing many times we do because we don't like create from the scratch
To save time.
because yeah, to save time, because we know we already created that, so we make use of. See, now I am creating a Nexus 2 job freestyle. I select here, I come up with some copy from, I select this. For example, Nexus job already exists. See, it is showing already previous job. So in company there are like list of jobs, you just search and copy. So whatever configuration you set for Nexus job come for Nexus 2, but the thing is you only edit the given configuration, URLs, everything. That's it. Okay,
Okay.
clear, Abdul?
Generally, which language they will write, Python or Groovy?
Groovy, it's a Groovy completely, but it's a declarative, very easy declarative. Like the difference declarative imperative is imperative. We need to tell every step what you do. Like you go there and fetch, and you download from here everything. But declarative, in simple word, you can say you tell the end result. Like say you come to Hyderabad, how you come, what transport you use, it's up to you. It is a declarative kind. In imperative, you tell the candidate, okay, you take the bus and this number bus and take the ticket and come to this road and come to this and this. So it is like walking like a baby. We are settling to the baby, do all this. It is a declarative, like directly end result we are interested in. How that things get be done, it's completely up to Jenkins. Okay, clear?
Okay.
Is that? Yeah. Anyone like
I think
somebody raising?
we are all done.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you, Anand. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time. It was a very wonderful session. So many participants will take the advantage of this. Okay. So
Yeah.
looking
Yes.
forward for many
Yes.
more sessions and many more workshops from you. Okay, Anand.
Yes, absolutely fine, fine.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
privilege to interact with you all
And
also.
teaching to other participants is also helping the other participants to make their
Yeah,
career.
definitely.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
we plan for many more, say, training sessions forward. Okay. So please
Yeah,
share
yeah.
the document, Anand. We will share it to the
Yeah, fine,
participants.
fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
will
can end
share
the
you over the
meeting.
mail.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Please
Okay.
end the meeting.
Yeah.